On this episode of the Layover Live, Paul McLeod stops by to talk about Simpleview's new data engine. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 196 of the Layover Live. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Strategy and Insights at Simpleview, and thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. We really do appreciate it. Now, measuring the impact of our marketing efforts is one of the most important challenges facing marketers today. And data visualization can certainly assist in that effort, as it can help marketers like yourselves observe and better understand their data. And trust me when I say that there is no shortage of tools on the market at this moment. Now, as we take data from collection to observation and hopefully insights that lead to action, there are some complex steps along the way as data comes in many shapes and sizes. Now, this process often begins by extracting data or moving data from its original source to some sort of staging area, then transforming that data or cleaning and standardizing it, removing errors, formatting, things of that nature, and then loading the standardized data into a unified storage platform or a warehouse or database so we can ultimately get into some graphical representation like a dashboard to more easily make decisions. Sounds pretty complex, right? Well, our upcoming data engine is going to make all of this much easier so that you can spend less time compiling data and more time on the action. So here today to talk about this upcoming powerful new tool is our Director of Analytics, Paul McLeod. So Paul, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jason. I'm glad to be back as always.
Yeah, happy to have you back as well. I wanted to bring you in because this is a tool that's going to be coming out. You've talked about this, I think, at TTRA a couple of months back, and it was really, really well done. And we certainly know that a lot's happening in the data and measurement space. Many DMOs are constantly looking for ways to show the impact of their marketing efforts, and being able to collect data, observe that data, and then turn that into a strategy and a plan that you can execute against is probably top of mind for most DMOs out there. So I want to get into this a little bit and talk about a data engine a little bit, because it's maybe a different term that folks aren't too used to hearing as we think about other platforms that are on the market. So let's first talk about maybe what a data engine is, and then maybe you could pivot into, as you're talking about that, Paul, a little bit about, what does it power and maybe what it's powered by. So I'll leave that to you to explain that.
Sure, yeah. So the data engine, like Simpleview Data Engine, is the official product name. Really what it's supposed to do ultimately is it's powered by, the raw data that you put into it, the data that is still in the state where you don't necessarily have the insights that you want. It's accurate, but it's not being connected to strategy and activities for you. And what it pushes out, ideally, if you use it right, is those insights. So really, it's a way to bring data together and transform it, much the way that an engine, brings fuel. This is old technology that's being replaced by batteries now. But a car engine brings together, fuel and air, and applies pressure and heat to them to produce mechanical energy. So just so with the data engine, we want to bring in data from say geolocation services and digital marketing, or from meeting sales, or even credit card spend data, all those types of things, whatever they may be. And as DMOs, we're consistently coming across new sources of that kind of data as we try to figure out ways to measure our impact. And it pushes out, something that is, related to those inputs, but different, namely, actual insights that can guide strategy for sales, for digital marketing, for destination development, whatever it may be.
Okay, so thanks for providing some guidance around that. But again, as we start to spell this out a little bit, it kind of sounds like other things that we've seen on the market a little bit, right? So kind of what really separates maybe like this tool, Paul, or this offering from other products and services that you've seen in the space? What does really the data engine offer that maybe others can't get from another dedicated resource, or even something that they can't build on their own? So maybe dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, another great question. Obviously, there are some other options out there. This is sort of the in-house Simpleview built solution tailored for DMOs, but actually, we'll have applicability for lots of different organizations. But yeah, essentially, this is a major, full-scale product effort from Simpleview, where we have a dedicated product team with product managers in our product development division that have produced a ground up again what we're calling a data engine. So that really requires, I think, for anybody who knows more in detail about what data products usually do, some explanation in sort of more common terminology of what it does. So ultimately this is supposed to be an end-to-end data solution. So it goes everywhere from collecting the data from the source where it's going to reside, whether that's Google Analytics, whether that's your Simpleview CRM, whether that's a CSV that you get from a data vendor, such as, for instance, a lot of DMOs get their geolocation data from Near, and it comes in a big CSV. We have a solution for pulling data from any of those sources. So, that's sort of the end of the connection where we're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to, if we're going to work with all that data in one place, we have to have one place to work on it. So then the other piece is a data warehouse, which is essentially just built on Amazon Web Services. If you're familiar with how cloud databases work, that's what it is. But we have a system that ties this all together. So we pull data from the data sources using a tool called Fivetran, which is a really slick tool that manages connections to all these different data sources that people are always trying to connect to. We have a deal with them to be that piece of our solution, and then we put it into Amazon cloud warehouses. So now we've gotten the data from the original positions into a warehouse, and then from there we get into the real. That's taking advantage of third-party solutions that are out there in a particular framework within our system. From there, it gets into the real Simpleview built stuff, specifically the reporting engine, which allows. I think this is what's really unique. You could, if you want to, just get in there and mess around with the SQL in Amazon Web Services on this tool, but the reporting engine is a custom-built in-house project that was designed from the beginning to be the reporting engine of our new CRM Apex, the evolution of our CRM that's coming out. And this is designed to allow no code, but fully flexible and powerful querying and reporting on data from multiple different data sources. So this is where we take all that data that's now in Amazon Web Services, and now we give you, the user, a powerful tool to combine that data. So you can see, for instance, if you had lodging analytics from STR, Smith Travel Research, showing your occupancy for your hotels, you could plot that against your geolocation data from Near or another source, and see how many room nights you had for different devices in those hotels at that same time. The reporting engine is really designed to be that piece where you do that, make those connections, and you can create, reports and connections and analyses that last forever. That are just repeated things you look at, or it can be, really helpful for if you just have a question one time and you need to do an ad hoc report without knowing SQL, without knowing code. You can get in there and point and click your way to a fully flexible and accurate analysis of that data. So I think that's what's really exciting for people who are hands-on, who are do-it-yourself. I talk to a lot of directors of research at DMOs who are like this, where they have their data in different silos, and they can build a board report or something like that, even maybe that combines that data, but that's just like a rigid thing that's just built, and then they just have that same report every month. But they might need to do custom in-depth analysis to answer a question or just to explore, and that's where this tool will be really great. And then on top of that reporting engine, it's got a custom Simpleview built BI tool, visualization engine as well. So you can turn that into dashboards, turn all that data into dashboards, into charts, into reports that are, delivering the data in ways that are, user friendly to read. So with all that, I think that is really pretty unique in the DMO space, is to have a fully flexible end-to-end data solution that allows the user to get in, especially if you have any kind of reporting talent and analyst talent on your team, not necessarily developer or SQL talent, you don't need that, but it's great if you do have it. You can really have full power over your data to do whatever you want, in addition to all the standard things of building dashboards for different audiences and having them go to the right people and all that thing.
Yeah, thanks.
That was very long-winded. Sorry.
No, but it's good, because there is, there's a lot that's happening in the space. It's a very crowded space right now as we start to think about these things and where something like this might fit in. I think, again, it has the flexibility and the ease of use to be able to work with just everyday marketing folks, but then has also the ability for experts like yourself that are at a DMO. DMOs are adding resources over time that are, around data science, around data analysts and things that want to be able to dig in there and do more. This provides all that opportunity and everything in between. So I think it's something worth certainly noting there, as this is an important key for DMOs being able to really prove the value of their marketing efforts, right? We often say when we're out meeting with DMOs, there's really like 3 areas for a DMO to be successful in. Really, it takes a combination of data and insights married with creative and user experience, as well as tourism technology. If you get all those things working in unison, you're probably doing pretty well and are probably pretty mature from a digital standpoint. So certainly, checks the box, the data insights, Paul. But let me ask you then a little bit more, and you touched on it a little bit, but really how maybe you envision a DMO specifically using this tool. Is it aimed at like one like DMO type, or is it aimed at several? Maybe get into that a little bit and maybe how each one benefits from it.
Yeah. No, it's really designed to be able to serve a number of needs. So, I just described sort of the full stack end-to-end nature of it. So absolutely, if, I think the most powerful way to use it is as a full solution for your analytics stack. So everything is unified in one place. It's all designed to work together. You have, like I said, connections to data sources, places to put the data, ways to move the data around, and then ways to present the data. And that's all done on a SaaS platform that will have continuous updates, as we have new types of data come in that will allow you to benefit from community models developed by other leading DMOs. We're going to take the wisdom from that and turn that into reporting and analytical models for combining data that everybody can take advantage of. And then you're going to be able to have, full access control that allows you to get all the right people to look at it. But so that's really the sort of full gold standard rollout. Now your data can live in this thing. You could always get it out later if you want, because ultimately it's just in Amazon Cloud databases. But it also doesn't have to be that way. We know a lot of clients out there might be in a different scenario where maybe they have a BI tool they really love. Maybe they've been working with Microsoft. Now I'm going blank. The one that Microsoft has, but we do use, for instance, Google Data Studio, now Looker Studio here at Simpleview. Other people, Power BI, that's the Microsoft one. Sorry. Other people, of course, use Tableau or other ones. But maybe you need more power on the back end, because those tools, aren't necessarily, they're great for visualization, but they don't necessarily do all the other stuff I've described this tool doing.
Right.
Because again, it's essentially just a set of Amazon Cloud databases. There's no reason you can't use your own BI tool along with the system. Keep that expertise that your team has already built up. Keep those visualizations and dashboards already in place, but then switch over to using us to supply the connections to the different data sources, including Simpleview CRM and all the other major sources that DMOs use, and then just feed that into your existing visualizations, but now with a lot more power, a lot more flexibility, a lot more reach into different data sources. And then even if that's more than you really need it for, as is the case with some people who've engineered their own data processes or maybe using something else, there's still the case of needing to get CRM data out and into an external database. And for various reasons, that's not easy to do. It's proprietary, important data that's private. But this tool is designed to be the solution for transporting CRM data out of Simpleview CRM and into essentially, it could be any location. Obviously, we've got the models built out for exporting it into the data engine system living in Amazon, but it could be used elsewhere as well. And with this tool, those models should be built out standard and correct, so that when you're pulling the data out of your CRM, it adheres to proper ways of attributing things and dealing with dates and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, good. And thank you for sharing all that, because I think that helps to clarify some use cases for DMOs. Certainly, as you touched on it there at the end about CRM, I think that's one of the most powerful ways to think about leveraging this platform, especially from the get-go. So good stuff there, Paul, and thank you for sharing that. Lastly, then, just any final thoughts to leave the group with. Again, there's going to be much more to come on this, as we get closer to Summit and introduce a lot of this type of content at Summit, as well as many other big announcements that we have this year. But, any final thoughts or maybe other ways maybe that you want to share how DMOs could benefit?
For my team, which is a team of data engineers and analysts that are striving to do the kind of thing we're talking about clients doing with this, taking data in from different sources, combining it, getting answers, and then presenting them to people. I'm just really excited to have this tool for us as we look to expand, continue and expand the work that we do. It's going to be nice to have an in-house team that I can yell at for, enhancements to the product if I want, because I can't do that with Google Data Studio. But I think it's just really cool to have here within this industry what I think will be a top-notch, first-class, complete end-to-end data tool that will allow people to, with various different needs, to do what they need. And because I get to use it myself, I think it's just really exciting to be able to then take those insights that we learn and help serve clients directly with them as well.
Yeah, well said, Paul, and really appreciate you coming on and sharing some of that. Certainly keep an eye out, folks, for more information on this. As we get closer to launch, it's super powerful, really important way to help you get more out of your marketing efforts. So, Paul, thank you for coming by today and stopping and sharing your insights on this upcoming tool from Simpleview.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for tuning in each and every week. If you're not subscribed, please do so now. We're also available on podcasts through Spotify and iTunes. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.